Welcome to another episode of Books and Bites. Today, we're going deep, diving into the Great Gatsby, F. Scott Fitzgerald's masterpiece.
Classic.
It is. Published in 1925, and this book just throws you right into this world of crazy wealth. Like you can't even imagine.
Opulence.
Yeah. Passionate love, but ultimately destructive. There's this shimmering illusion and a really critical look at the American dream.
Yeah, during the Roaring '20s. It's such a fascinating time. That post-war boom, everyone's prosperous, jazz is playing.
Yeah.
But there's this underlying feeling that maybe things aren't quite right.
Yeah, and we find ourselves in this playground. It's like the morally ambiguous playground of New York's elite. So who are these people?
Well, at the center of it all, you have Jay Gatsby,
right?
This captivating figure who kind of appears out of thin air, it seems.
Yeah.
He has amassed this fortune, and he's driven by this desire to rekindle past love.
Okay, and this past love is Daisy Buchanan.
Daisy Buchanan.
But to understand all this, we're guided by Nick Carraway.
He's like me. He is us. He moves to West Egg, and he's this young Bond salesman, and he becomes an observer to these extravagant lives.
Exactly.
So our goal today is to break this all down. What are the essential elements of The Great Gatsby, and why almost a century later does it still feel so relevant?
Right.
Let's get into it. Okay, so the American dream. This is the foundation of the story.
It is, and it's so interesting because Fitzgerald really takes this concept, the American dream, and kind of flips it on its head. It's not just the rags to riches story that we typically associate it with.
Right.
It's more nuanced than that. And it's kind of tainted by, greed and this desire for more wealth than you could ever possibly need. And Gatsby, in many ways, he is the self-made man. He pulled himself up. He has this sheer determination to succeed.
He does. And those parties, those legendary parties, those are almost a character in and of themselves.
Right. Lavish, extravagant. They're huge. It's all orchestrated to show off his success. And it's to get Daisy back. He thinks, if I have enough money, that's the key to unlock our past and our future together.
Right. He's trying to buy his way back into this specific past. Mm. But one of the things that the novel does so well is it contrasts the new money of West Egg, where Gatsby lives, with the old money of East Egg,
where Tom and Daisy are.
Yes.
Right.
There's a social hierarchy.
Yeah.
So even though Gatsby has all of this wealth to these people in East Egg, he's still an outsider.
Yeah, it's not just about who has more money. It's like this ingrained power. They were born with this silver spoon.
Generational wealth.
Right.
And with that comes a sense of entitlement.
Yes. And Tom Buchanan, talk about careless. It's almost like he doesn't even think about the consequences of his actions.
Right.
And this is where Fitzgerald's critique of materialism comes in. It's saying, hey, this chase for all this wealth, is it really going to make you happy? It's superficial.
Exactly. And it's kind of a distraction, right? Because even though Gatsby's chasing this wealth for love, it almost becomes more about the money than the love.
Right. Okay, let's talk about the characters. So we have Nick Carraway, the narrator. He's in West Egg, right next door to Gatsby. What's going on with him? What role does he play?
He's so essential. He starts out so innocent, but then, being exposed to all of this wealth and this kind of moral decay, he becomes jaded. He loses that innocence. Mm. And because he's from the Midwest, he has these values that clash so much with what he sees in West Egg and East Egg.
Yeah.
So he's right in the middle of everything. He becomes Gatsby's confidant, but he also has this connection to Daisy and Tom.
Right. And then there's Gatsby. Oh, this is so good. He's almost mythical. He's shrouded in the secrecy. Even before we meet him, we hear all these crazy rumors.
Oh, many rumors.
Like a German spy, a murderer.
Right.
And it makes you think, who is this guy?
What's interesting is that he wants those rumors there. Mm-hmm. He is carefully constructing this image of wealth, sophistication.
But why? Why does he do that?
He wants to impress Daisy. He wants her to see him as this successful, larger-than-life figure.
Okay. But he wasn't always this Gatsby.
No, right. He was James Gatz.
Plain James Gatz from North Dakota.
A poor farm boy.
Right. So he completely reinvented himself. And this reinvention, it's all for Daisy.
It is.
It's so focused on winning her back.
It is. And there's this turning point in his life.
Yeah.
When he meets Dan Cody.
Dan Cody, yeah.
And he's this millionaire. He exposes Gatsby to this world of unimaginable wealth. And that's when he realizes, this is the life I want.
Right. Right. And then, of course, we can't forget about how Gatsby actually gets all this money.
It's heavily implied
Yeah.
that it's illegal bootlegging
Right.
through figures like Meyer Wolfheim.
Yeah.
It kind of goes to show that even though this is the Roaring '20s, there's this darkness, right?
Okay, so at the center of Gatsby's dream, there's Daisy. Beautiful, charming. But as we get to know her, what do we see?
She's shallow. And I think that's a product of her upbringing. She's used to this life of comfort, never having to worry about money. And it makes her passive.
She is passive.
Yeah. She's married to Tom. Now, Tom, he's arrogant, he's unfaithful, but he does provide a certain security.
Socially, too. It's like she's safe with him.
Exactly.
But before the war, she and Gatsby, they had a thing.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what fuels all of Gatsby's hopes. It's all about that past love. There's that moment when she sees all of Gatsby's shirts.
Oh, so many shirts.
Beautiful shirts. And she just starts crying. It's like she realizes what could have been.
The life she could have had.
But when she's forced to make a choice, she can't fully commit to Gatsby.
And this goes back to the theme of the past.
Yeah.
Gatsby is so caught up in this idealized version of Daisy. And Daisy, she can't escape her present, even if it's flawed.
Right. And she's careless, too.
Oh, yeah.
She's involved in Myrtle's death, but Gatsby takes the blame.
He does.
So Tom Buchanan, oh my gosh.
So much to unpack there.
Talk about arrogance and entitlement. He has this affair with Myrtle Wilson. He doesn't even care about his wife or Myrtle's husband.
No, he just does what he wants. He thinks he's above it all. And this infidelity, it's almost like a privilege of his class.
Right. And then he finds out about Gatsby's past, how he got his money.
Oh, yeah.
And he uses it to destroy him. He wants to make sure that Daisy stays with him.
Right.
Okay. We also have Jordan Baker. She's part of this whole world, the elite world. What's her deal?
She's cynical, and she becomes a really important source of information for Nick. She tells him about Gatsby's past.
About his intentions with Daisy.
Yeah. She's like this window into this world that Nick is still trying to figure out.
Right. And then there's Myrtle and George Wilson, two completely different characters, totally different social class. What's their story?
It's so tragic. Myrtle, she wants a better life. She sees Tom as her ticket out of this dreary existence.
Yeah, and George is just this working class guy who's totally oblivious to his wife's affair. And he represents these struggles that people outside of this elite world they face. It's heartbreaking.
It is, and you see how these two worlds collide in such a destructive way.
Right. And the Valley of Ashes, where they live, it's not just a place, right?
No, it's like a symbol. It represents the moral and social decay that's hidden beneath all of this glitz and glamour.
Yeah. And then there are the eyes of Dr. T.J. Eckelberg on that billboard.
Yeah, those eyes are always watching.
What do they represent?
Well, that's the thing. They're open to interpretation. Maybe they're like a lost moral compass, or maybe they're like the eyes of God, or maybe they're just, this eerie presence.
I think it depends on the reader, right?
I think so.
What they see in those eyes. Okay, so back to the story. Nick arrives in West Egg. He's the outsider looking in.
And that's so important.
Yeah.
Because it allows Fitzgerald to slowly reveal this world to us.
Right. And then we have the parties at Gatsby's mansion.
Oh, the parties.
They're massive.
They're legendary.
There are so many people, so much alcohol, everyone's gossiping, but it's all a facade.
It's a show.
Yeah.
Gatsby wants to create this image.
Yeah, to impress Daisy. Then there's Tom's affair with Myrtle. They meet in this really rundown place, the Valley of Ashes. What does that tell us?
It's this really stark contrast to the wealth of West Egg and East Egg. And it shows that, this pursuit of wealth, it has consequences. And those consequences are often felt by those who are not wealthy.
Right. And then we have the reunion between Gatsby and Daisy.
So carefully planned by Nick.
Yeah. It's this moment of hope, but also this awkwardness.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to recapture the past. And that's not easy.
You can never truly go back.
Right. And then everything comes to a head at the Plaza Hotel.
That confrontation.
Yes. Gatsby wants Daisy to say she never loved Tom.
And she can't do it.
She can't. And that's when you realize Gatsby's dream, it's over.
Right, because it was based on an illusion.
Yeah. And then the accident. Myrtle's death.
Oh, so tragic.
It's just chaos. Daisy's driving, but Gatsby, he takes the blame.
He does.
And it shows how careless these people are. They don't think about the consequences of their actions. And then Gatsby dies.
Alone.
Alone. And no one, all those people at his parties.
All those people.
No one comes to his funeral.
It's heartbreaking.
It is. And Nick, he can't take it anymore. He leaves West Egg. He goes back to the Midwest. What's that about?
He's disillusioned. He's seen the ugliness of this world.
Right.
And he wants something more authentic.
Yeah, something real. Okay, let's talk about the symbols. The green light, what does it mean?
Oh, the green light. It's at the end of Daisy's dock across the bay. And it represents so much hope, ambition, but also the unattainable. It's like this symbol of Gatsby's dream.
Right. But it's always out of reach.
Always just out of reach.
Okay, the Valley of Ashes. We talked about it a bit.
Yeah, it's this wasteland.
Yeah.
It represents this moral decay, the downside of the American dream.
Yeah. And those eyes. Dr. T.J. Eckelberg.
Watching over everything.
What are they trying to tell us?
It's up to the reader to decide. Maybe they're a reminder of, judgment. Or maybe they're a symbol of something else entirely.
And then there's the past. Gatsby's obsessed with it.
He wants to repeat it.
He wants to go back to that time with Daisy.
But you can't.
You can't repeat the past.
No.
And that's what the book is trying to say. And that last line.
So we beat on, boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly into the past.
It's beautiful, but it's also tragic. Because it shows how we're all kind of trapped by our pasts.
Exactly.
Okay, so Fitzgerald, he's critiquing this society. This wealthy, elite society.
Yeah, he's not afraid to show the ugliness, the social class divisions, the materialism, corruption.
And Tom and Daisy, they're like the poster children for this. They're so careless.
Yeah, Nick says it best. They were careless people, Tom and Daisy. They smashed up things and creatures and then retreated back into their money.
Wow. Powerful. And that's why this book is still so relevant today.
Absolutely. It's about the American dream, the allure of wealth, the complexities of love. These are all themes that we still grapple with.
So The Great Gatsby, it's not just a story. It's a reflection of ourselves.
It makes you think.
It does. And if you want to experience this amazing book firsthand, you can grab a copy from the link in the description below. And make sure to subscribe to Books and Bites for more deep dives into literature.